ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. I was given the topic, what is the purpose of human life? Maybe I'll just go this way. Okay. Before I begin, I just want to say I'm not a speaker. The only quality I have is that I've done Sangat with a lot of Sikhs, and I've had the opportunity to learn a lot. And the Singhs here that run the camp decided that the Singhs at Gurdwara Tohaban Sahib should be given seva. So I'm here. I'm going to try and make this lecture more based on Barney than my own opinions. Because I guess you're not here to hear what Balpreet Singh thinks about the purpose of life. You're here to know what Guru Sahib has to say. So, what is the purpose of life? When I was younger in high school, I was already a little bit interested in Sikhi, and I had gained an understanding for myself, but I was always confused. How do people that don't know, how do they live their life? Why do they get up in the morning? Why do they do what they do? I'll just illustrate to you that this is a really big problem for some people. About 5 years ago, I was working in a factory just during the summer after school, and there was a girl that sat beside me. She was blonde and Canadian, and she looked at me, and for a while she didn't say anything, but because we were working together for so long, she eventually started to ask about Sikhi. Why do you wear your turban? What do you believe? And I was really curious about what she believed, because she seemed to be really interested in Sikhi, but she claimed not to have a religion, and that confused me. So after a while I asked her, why are you alive? What makes you get up in the morning? Why do you do what you do? What's the purpose of your life? And she looked at me, and she stopped for a second, and she got really emotional, and she said, I haven't a clue, and that scares the hell out of me. And I think for all of us, if we don't know why we're alive, it should scare the hell out of us. I read a story that summarizes the situation really well. A man had a dream, and in the dream he was walking and he came to a river. And beside the river there was a woman standing, holding a bag, and every second or so she'd reach into the bag and throw something shiny into the river. And he asked, "Who are you?" And she answered, "I'm your soul." He said, "Why are you at this river?" She said, "This is the river of time." He said, "And what are you throwing into the river?" She said, "That's every breath. And with every single breath we take, that's a breath we're never going to get it back again. And that's another breath that we're coming closer to death and the end of our opportunity here." So, life is precious. Guru Sahib has told us that life and every breath we have is something that we can't waste. And knowing what we're alive for, making a big goal as opposed to something small, is essential. Because a lot of people have short goals. They say, I'm going to finish school. Once you finish school, I'm going to get a job. Once you have a job, I'm going to advance. I'm going to have a family. But once they reach those goals, they don't know where to go from there. They have no aim. And when you have no aim, you end up going everywhere and you have no direction in life. So, what is the goal in life? That's something that I'm going to try and talk about today. First, I want to use a quote from Barney. Guru Sahib tells us, "Rain gawai soe kah, devs gawaya khaye, heere jaisa janam hai, kaudi badle jaye." That we spend our nights eating and wasting our time, and that we've been given a diamond in the form of life, and you're trading it away for nothing. You're trading it away for just a worthless shell. Like a child that's been given a diamond, and he's walking on the beach and he looks down, and he sees a shiny stone or a shiny shell, and he throws the diamond aside and picks up the shell and starts playing with it. He knows no value for it. And that's sometimes how we are. We don't know how much our life really means. So, what I want to start off with is a question a Gosek asked me a number of years ago. What are your goals in life? And some people, I've asked people, and they've come up with money, family, I want to be a good person, I want to help others, but the main goal that people have is I want to be happy. Well, how are you going to be happy? I don't know. They're going to say, I want to have a family and that'll make me happy. But how many people do we see around us that are actually happy? We have so many people that are depressed, on antidepressants, people that want to die. Then why can't people achieve happiness? So that's another question I want to answer today. The first description or comparison I want to do is between a human versus a dog. What are the qualities that both have and what do both want to accomplish in life? When you first see this comparison, you kind of ask yourself, what's he talking about? A human and a dog are so different. Why would he even bring this question up? But what does a human want in life? We've already gone through that. Security, a family, food, shelter, a good time every once in a while, a good mate. What does an animal want? An animal might not want to live in a mansion, but I know dogs want to have a good house. They want to be loved. My dog comes every day with a stick in his mouth when I come home and wants to play, just like we want to play. And they also enjoy having good food. So what makes them different? And if they're going to be judged, because what is a dog and what is a human? We're both souls inside bodies. So when we're judged, how are we going to be judged differently? When we're standing in front of Dharmaraj and we're confronted with what we've accomplished and what was in our heart, how will a usual human compare with a dog? In fact, I think some humans might not even be able to meet up to the measure of a dog, because Guru Sahib has spoken quite highly of a dog in Bani. Swami ko grajyo sada swanta jit nahi nit nanak ehvid har pajo ek man hoy ek chit. Just like a dog, Guru Sahib says, doesn't leave his owner's house and serves with loyalty. That's how Guru Sahib says we should serve Vaheguru. But some humans don't even have that quality of loyalty. So when we're judged, how will we be judged any differently than a dog? And I think that's pretty scary, because Guru Sahib has told us life is precious, and if you've lived the life of a dog, what was so precious about your life? What was so special about it? Life according to Gurbani. Gurbani has said over and over with such urgency, with desperation, do something, this is your chance. This is one of the shabds that I'm going to go through with you. Guru Sahib says in Guru Granth Sahib, Gur seva te bhagt kamai, tabe manas dehi pai. This is an order that Guru Sahib is giving to us, that you received human form, manas dehi. And what is it for? Gur seva and bhakti. And we discussed earlier that Gur seva is naam and bhakti is the same thing. That the only reason we received this body is for naam and bhakti. Es dehi ko simran dev, so dehi bhaj har ki sev. That even the gods, they desire this. Why? Because human life is the only life where we can meet Vaheguru, where we can see Vaheguru. No other life form, no other entity can do that. Bhajo Gobind, bhool mat jao, manas janam ka ehi lao, rahao. And this is the key idea of this shabd, that remember Gobind, Vaheguru. Don't forget. Because in life, we forget why we're here. We get distracted. And Guru Sahib says, Manas janam ka ehi lao. This is the only profit that you're going to take from this world. This is the only special benefit that you're going to be able to take. Jab lag jara rog nahi aaya, jab lag kaal krisi nahi kaaya, jab lag bikalp hi nahi bani, pajle reman sarang pani. This is talking about the body. One day our voice isn't going to be able to speak anymore. One day we're not going to be able to move anymore. So while you still have the ability, remember Vaheguru. Avna pajas kab pai, ave antana pajya jai. Jo kuch kare soi absar, fir pachtav na pavo par. That whatever you're going to do in regards to bhakti, do it now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it right now, because you don't know about tomorrow. Do it with urgency. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to cross this world ocean. And you're going to regret it. You're going to pashtana. In Dargah, when we're faced with all our karma, we're going to realize what a waste we made of our life. And that's when regret sets in. And then there's nothing we can do about it. our face is black in front of God, and when we're asked, what did you accomplish? We have no answer. And that's when there's nothing to do. So Guru Sahib says, do something now. So sevak jo laya sev, tin hi paye niranjan dev, gur mil tanke khule kapat, baur na hove joni vaat. That's the sevak that's been given the seva. And how will we get the seva? It's through Guru Sahib. And that's the importance of Guru Sahib in our life. That when we meet Guru Sahib, that's when we can begin our life as a spiritual person. As a pug, we get Naam only from Guru Sahib. So Guru Sahib is telling us with urgency, start now. Don't wait. Don't say, oh, no, when I'm older, then, I'll have more time and then it'll be okay. No, start now. Because you don't know how many diamonds are left in your sack. Ehi tera avsar, ehi teri baar, kat peetar tu dekh vichar. Kahat Kabir, jeet ke haar, bahvid kaheo pukar pukar. This says, ehi tera avsar, ehi teri baar. This is your time, this is your chance. Think about it. And this is your time, jeet ke haar. Guru Sahib says, it's up to you now. If you want to win or you want to lose, it's up to you. And pukar, pukar, that means over and over I'm crying out. So Guru Granth Sahib Ji is telling us, I'm crying out over and over. This is a special time. If you lose it now, if you don't meet Vaheguru now, you're not going to have that chance again. Guru Sahib has given us a usual life. There's shabds in Gurbani called pehre. Pehre essentially talk about what a human life usually is about. It describes a night, that the human is spending one night in a place here. And what happens during that night? It's using an analogy, that the soul is here for only a night, a short time. And what does that usual soul do for that one night? So Guru Sahib starts off, Sri Rag Mahalla Pehla. Pehle pehre rain ke vanjarya mitra, balak buddh achet, kheer piya khelaiya, vanjarya mitra, mat pita sut het, mat pita sut neh kanera, maya moh sabai, sanjogi aya kirt kamaya karni kar karai, Ram naam bin mukt na hoi, buddhi dujja het, kaho nar prani pehle pehre chutenga har chet. So the first quarter of our life, the first part of the night, sleep hasn't set in yet. We're still somewhat aware. Guru Sahib tells us when we're in our mother's womb, we know exactly why we're coming to this earth. We know exactly how special human life is. But when we're born, we enter the world and our connection is lost. We forget why we're here. We come out and we meet our family and we start thinking about milk and other worldly pleasures. And all of a sudden, our connection, our thoughts of God are lost. And then Guru Sahib talks about love. That the love between a mother and child, that's another distraction. Is that really love or is it more attachment? Because love is something I think that if I love my child, I love all children just as much. If I'm willing to make a sacrifice for this child, I'm willing to make another sacrifice for that child. But if you're not willing to do that, I think maybe that's attachment. So attachment sets in. But for the first quarter, you're in your childhood and you're still somewhat aware, you're not distracted completely with Maya. The second quarter, Guru Sahib says, Duje pehre rain ke vanjarya mitra, par jovan mein mat, ainish kaam vyaptya vanjarya mitra, andre naam nachit, Ram naam kat antar nahi, hur jane ras kas meethe, gyan dhyan gun sanjam nahi, jan maronge jhute, तीर्थ वर्त सोच संजम नाही कर्म धर्म नहीं पूजा नानक पाए भगत निस्तारा दुबदा व्यापे दूजा. I'm going to talk about this quarter in our life somewhat reluctantly because this is the most dangerous quarter of the night and I'm in it just like most of you are in it. This is the quarter when sleep starts to set in more. We're distracted more. And this is also when thieves start to come out, when we are robbed of all our qualities. So, what is happening in the second quarter? We have a flood of so many hopes, desires, fears, and for the first time we start to feel an emptiness inside. There's something missing, and we have to fill that void inside. And the qualities that we have, the good qualities, are washed away by the need for instant gratification. That I want to feel good right away. And what are you going to do to feel good right away? Guru Sahib especially looks at Kaam. He mentions Kaam, looking towards other people with lust. This is something that all of us are going to face in life. And it's because we feel an emptiness inside. We don't know why. We feel so alone that there's no one there to understand me. And there's no one there that can take me through life, no one there to help me. I remember in high school, again I asked one of my best friends a question, so what drives you? I used to ask this question quite a bit. And he told me, I'll tell you in my yearbook entry, in your yearbook at the end of the year. This was my final year in high school. And I waited the entire year to find out. And what his final entry was I had a dream, and I met someone in my dream, and she understood exactly what I was going through and understood exactly what I was saying, and we got along so well, and my goal in life is to meet that person. That makes me feel whole. This is what he said. That makes me feel whole, that can complete me. But is there such a person? Who can complete us? What's missing in our life? Because Guru Sahib has told us, Man tu jot swaroop hai apna mool pachan. We are a small drop from a larger ocean. What's inside us, our soul, is God. And we've been separated from Vaheguru. That's the emptiness we're feeling. And we're going to look towards different people to fill that emptiness, and no one's going to be able to do it. I mean, look around you. How many people are following this path, trying to find gratification from another person, trying to fill their emptiness inside by going and finding a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something like this? How many people are doing it? Almost everybody. And how many people are successful? How many people are finding happiness through this? I don't see very many. I don't think there are any. So we have to say to ourselves, there's obviously something wrong. There's something not right with this path. We have to investigate something else. What we do now, later on we're going to regret. What we do now in terms of blackening our face sometimes, just because of quote-unquote love, I'm in love, it doesn't matter. Because that's what we think our purpose is, to find this person that's going to complete us. What we do now, we're going to regret later on. Sometimes we sacrifice our entire family, sometimes we sacrifice our honor, everything. And what we end up with is nothing. And that empty feeling just continues. Everyone's looking for it, but because no one's successful through this path, it proves that it's wrong. But at the same time, Guru Sahib is telling us this is a powerful time in your life. It's young people that change the world. If someone becomes a Bhakt at this age, if someone grabs onto Guru Sahib at this age, then it's possible that they'll be able to take it farther than anyone else. Because our blood is hot, we're willing to move forward with things, we're willing to dedicate ourselves to things more completely at this age than any other. So if we grab onto Bhakti at this age, Nam at this age, we just get a taste. That's the problem. Sikhi is not through talk. Sikhi is an experience. And if we get that experience now, just a little bit, it's possible that we might stick to it and accomplish what we're here to get. So, this is the second quarter of the night. The third quarter, sleep gets even deeper. Trying to wake someone up in the third quarter is impossible. Guru Sahib says, Tije pehre rehn ke van jarya mitra. Sir hans udkhade aaye. Joban kate jarua jene van jarya mitra. Av kate din jaye. Ant kaal pachhtasi andle ja jam pakad chalaya. Sakish apna kar kar rakhya. Khyan mein pya paraya. Budh visar ji gayi syanap. Kar agan pachtaye. Kaho nanak prani tije pehre. Prab cheto live lai. When we're out of our youth, we can see in our parents that the way they act, they're very set in their ways. And sometimes they just say it's too late to change now. Whatever I am, I am. They're stuck raising a family, bringing up their children, raising a household. And they just say it's too late now, I don't have time for bhakti. And waking them up, showing them that there is something greater, is impossible. That they're just stuck where they are. And Guru Sahib says, you're going to regret it. That slowly your intellect is leaving you. Age is creeping up on you. Death is approaching. And you still don't understand. And you're going to regret it. So the third quarter, it's getting pretty late. And finally, the final quarter that Guru Sahib talks about. This is the quarter where all of us see that someone has no power left. They're on their deathbed. Guru Sahib says, "Chauthe pehre rehn ke vanjarya mitra, birt pya tan kheen, akhi and na disi vanjarya mitra, kanni sune na vain, akhi and jeev ras nahi, rehe parako tana, gun antar nahi, kyon sukh pave, manmukh avan jana. खड़ पक्की कुड़ भज्जै बिनसै आए चलै क्या मान कहो नानक प्राणी चौथे पैरे गुरमुख शब्द पछान." That in your final quarter, because a lot of us say, when I get older, that's when I'll do bhakti. That I can't keep my case now, but when I'm done, my parents say this. My parents and my dad's and my mom started keeping a case recently. He says, I can't do it now. They both agree that Amrit is what they want to have. But he says, when I retire, not now. I can't do it now. But when you're so old, your body doesn't have power anymore. You're dependent on other people to do everything for you. Your tongue doesn't move. And then your body just says, no, I can't do it. And then it's too late anyways. It's like starting off in school. Just like when the child was in the womb, it was the first semester. It knew what it was there for. I know when I start school, I'm always very dedicated. Definitely I'm going to get good grades. I remember I did an extra year of university to improve my grades, and when I started off, the first week or two, I spent hours in the library, but slowly I got distracted, started doing other things. And then the second quarter, the second semester passes, third semester passes, fourth semester, and you see exams. And the same way in the fourth semester of life, fourth quarter of the night, you can see death in front of you. And that scares a lot of people. They start doing bhakti then, but it's too late then. If you start studying for your exams in the fourth semester, are you going to pass? It's unlikely. So if we start early, Guru Sahib says you can pass through this night, you can wake up. So Guru Sahib finally summarizes it for us. Odak aya tin sahaya vanjarya mitra, jarjarvana kan, ek rati gunna samanaya vanjarya mitra, avgan khatsan band, गुण संजम जावे चोट न खावे ना तिस जमन मरना काल जाल जम जोह न साकै पाए भगत पै तरना पद सेती जावे सहज समावे सगले दुख मिटावे कहो नानक प्राणी गुरमुख छूटै साचे ते पत पावे. That finally that day is going to come, and all you've collected in your life are bad qualities. You've done nothing productive. You've not used that jewel that Guru Sahib has given you, and then you're going to regret it. And you're going to be beaten on your way to Dargah. You're going to stand there with your face black, and you're going to have nothing to say, and this opportunity will be lost. But if we become a Gurmukh, our honor is going to be intact in this world and the next world. Here we'll be looked at with honor, and in Dargah, they say Dharmaraj, who's going to judge us. He judges everyone else, reads out their lekha, their account. But when a Gurmukh comes, he gets up from his chair with folded hands and he welcomes them. And they don't have a lekha there. They don't have to bear the shame of hearing their qualities, hearing what they've done wrong, because it's been ripped apart by Guru Sahib. So Guru Sahib is encouraging us that don't let your night pass. Don't let it pass without a purpose. A little while ago, I know a lot of people here read our website, there was a story. It was about a man and a palace. There's a very poor man, and he's sitting very dukhi in a park. He's holding his head. And a stranger walks up and sits down beside him and said, "What's the problem? You look very depressed." And he said, "Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. I'm losing my house. I don't have a cent in my account. My child is sick. And the creditors are saying they're going to take away everything. And I have nothing to do. I want to die. There's no purpose in me being alive. I couldn't save my family." And he said, the stranger says to him, I can help you. He said, there's a palace and a garden, and I'll give you the opportunity to go there. I'll show you where it is. And it's filled with riches. It's filled with jewels. What you do is, you go there for one night, and you collect as much as you want, and you come out, and the only thing I ask you is that you bring me one bag of jewels, one bag of money. The rest, whatever you collect, is yours. He said, why don't you go? He said, no, I can't go, but I can show you where it is. And it was such an outlandish claim, but this man looked completely serious, and he said, and the poor man said, well, I guess I have nothing to lose, I'll follow. And he said, well, I'll send you, but there's one thing. When you're in there, there's so many distractions that it's quite possible that you'll forget what you were there for. He said, no, what, are you joking? I have so many problems. My child's going to die. I have so much urgency. And how are you saying that I'll forget? He said, no, watch. It's possible that you'll forget what you're there for. So in the middle of the night, I'll try and call you to remind you. So don't get distracted. So the man's led to that garden and sees the palace. And he walks through the gate. The man says, come out at the end of the night. He said, fine. He goes in and he sees a beautiful garden, flowers. And he's distracted right away. He starts smelling the flowers. He's never seen anything like this before. He goes in the house, and there's women and men dancing, and there's screens with amazing plays. And at first he's very dedicated. He says, well, just a minute, I'll see this, and then I'll start again. And he collects some money, and he stops again, he's distracted. And he just stands there for hours, watching nothing, gaining nothing. And he gets a call from the stranger. The stranger says, your time's running out, I'm just reminding you. He says, oh yes, yes. And he starts again, he collects a little bit. And again, he sees something, and he stops. And the night passes. And he comes out, and all he had was that one bag of money, nothing else. And the stranger says, what I want is what I'm owed, one bag. And that man is left with nothing. And that's exactly how a normal human is going to come out of this world. That when we start off in this world, like I said in the womb, the human is very dedicated. I'm here to meet Vaheguru, because the only thing I'm here for is to meet Vaheguru. And when he comes out, he's distracted. And distracted so much that he forgets everything. And maybe at some point in his life he remembers for a short time, and he might do bhakti like at this camp for a day or two. But then he forgets again, and he has to leave this world with nothing, and that opportunity is lost completely. And what I think Guru Sahib is saying for this exact situation is this: Apavittar pavittar jintu karya, sagal joon mein tu sir tarya. Guru Sahib has put us at the top of all living forms. We're at the top of the life cycle. 84 lakh June, 8.4 million life forms. And this is the only one that exists that is going to let us meet Vaheguru and escape this cycle. And then Guru Sahib says, Ab tu seej bhave nahi seejai. Now you have a choice. You can resolve your affairs or you cannot resolve your affairs. This is your choice. Karij savara man prabh tyai jai. But if you want to resolve your affairs, then what you're going to have to do is, you're going to have to remember Vaheguru. You're going to have to remember Vaheguru and meditate. So I've told you how precious human life is. How are you going to take advantage of it? Guru, Amrit and Naam. According to Gurmat, life is only successful if we beat Satguru. And Satguru Sahib will give us Naam and give our life purpose. And again, this is something that I can't talk about, it's just something that has to be experienced. It's gunge ki mathiyai, a dumb person that tastes it, and if that person has a purpose, he can't express it. What did I get out of this? What did you get out of Naam? Can you explain to somebody what you get out of Naam? It's very difficult. What Guru Sahib does then is he holds your hand. You have that void in your life. You have that empty spot that you need someone. You feel so alone. And what Guru Sahib is offering is, I'll be with you forever. A story comes to mind. Bhai Balpreet Singh was my inspiration to become more involved in Sikhi. And he spent quite a long time in jail, 15 years. He was sentenced to life in prison. And he had to spend time in solitary confinement, alone in a dark cell, for months. For months and months he was kept in solitary confinement because that was considered the worst punishment they could give him. And a Christian missionary came to tour the prisons in India. And he went to see the solitary area. And he said, "Do anyone stay in these cells?" And the jail warden said, "No, no one comes here. If we threaten someone to come here even for a night, they freak out and they'll do whatever we say. But there's one crazy man. His name's Bhai Singh. And he has lived in this cell for months. And it doesn't make a difference to him." And the Christian missionary was confused. He said, "I want to meet this person. I want to see this person." So they took him there. And they opened the jail cell. And Bhai Sahib was sitting there in samadhi. Eyes shut. Face glowing. His face was glowing. And the missionary said, "Can I speak to him?" He said, "He's usually in some sort of a deep state, but sometimes he wakes up. Call his name out." So they called his name out. And they asked Bhai Sahib, "Wake up, wake up." And the Christian missionary said, "Sir, how long have you been here?" Because Bhai Sahib understood English. And Bhai Sahib said, "Many months." And they said, the missionary said, "And you've been here alone?" Bhai Sahib said, "No, never. I've never been here alone." And the warden said, "You're a liar. He's lying. It's not true. He's here alone. This is solitary confinement." And the warden looked at Bhai Sahib's face, and the Christian missionary looked at Bhai Sahib's face, and they both saw that he had no lie on his face. He was sincere. There was a twinkle in his eye. And the missionary said, "It doesn't seem like he's lying. Why don't you tell us who is with you?" And what Guru Sahib inspired Bhai Sahib to do at that point was sing a shabd. And this is Guru Arjan Dev Ji's shabd. "Har ka naam hriday nitya aayi, sangi saathi sagal satarayi, gur mere sang sada hai naale, simar simar ke sada samale." He said, "Gur mere sang sada hai naale." The Guru is always with me. And when he sang this line, Bhai Sahib put his hands together and he lost all awareness. His head turned up, and his eyes filled with tears, and clanging his kade together like this, he just sang that line non-stop. And the Christian missionary said, "What is he saying?" And the warden said, "He's saying, my Guru is with me at all the time. My Guru never leaves me." And the warden said, "Is that right? Well, what we'll do is, can I try going in one of these cells? Because I'm a man of religion as well. He's a man of religion. So let me give it a try." And they said, "No, you don't want to do that." He said, No, I insist. I'm a man of religion. Because he can do it. Why can't I? What's wrong with me? God's on my side as well." So they said, "Fine, your choice." They shut him in the cell. And after 15 minutes, they heard the bell. And another minute later, they're still coming. Started banging on the door. "Get me out." Started screaming, "Get me out. I can't spend another second in here. This place is suffocating me." And he came out and he said, "I want to meet that Sikh again. I want to meet that Sikh." And he came, and Bhai Sahib was brought out of his cell again. And he said, "Your Guru stays with you in a way that mine won't stay with me. Can I hear that shabd again?" And Bhai Sahib then sang that shabd, and they both watched. Again, Bhai Sahib would go into Vismad. Guru is always with me. And that's what Guru Sahib was offering us. That if you become my Sikh, I'll never leave you. You can be here or there, and I'll always be with you. What Guru Sahib offers us is something that no other religion offers us. I mean, a Sikh sitting in that cell could sing, "Gur mere sang sada hai naale, simar simar ke sada samale, tera kiya meetha lage, tera kiya meetha lage," means your will is sweet to me, har naam padarth nanak mange. And when I read this, the shabd was by Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And I compare that, I don't want to insult any religion, but what we've done to our religion, not understanding it, not sending to others. Guru Arjan Dev Ji was sat in a boiling pot of water, tortured to death because he wouldn't leave his faith, wouldn't compromise his principles. He sat on a hot plate and was burnt, and he kept singing the shabd. And I don't think that any other prophet has been able to do this. Jesus on the cross, even he cried out in pain, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" Guru Sahib is going to hold our hand in a way which no one else can. That's what Guru Sahib is offering. Amrit and Naam. Amrit is something that's essential to begin a spiritual life, because that's when we get Naam. There are stories of people taking birth in this world only to get Naam. There was a Singh called Hira Harbachan Singh. He was first an atheist, but he heard Kirtan for the first time, and he heard Kirtan in such a way that he just stopped outside the door of that Kirtan. He used to go to Khalsa college, because his family wanted to make him into a Sikh, but he was an atheist and he used to make fun of all the Sikhs. But just walking past a kirtan, when Guru Sahib did kirpa, just walking on the street, he stopped and he just froze there. And he just stood there. And they had to bring him in, they had to carry him in. And he decided at that kirtan smagam that he wanted to shak Amrit. And he received so much kala that after the Amrit Sanchar, where he was sitting in the Sangat, people saw him rise, float, and like a fish is in water, going in the wave like this, went in front of Guru Sahib with his hands closed like this, lying straight, just floating in the air. And the Singhs at that point sang Lama. Lama is reserved for marriages, but they said this Singh, he's being married to God as we see. And they sang Lama for Hira Harbachan Singh. Anyways, getting to my point. He was married, and every time he would have a child, the child would die. He would get Amrit, because a baby is given Amrit when he's born. And later on in life, if they want to stay in Sikhi, which is hopefully what they will do, they go again in front of the Panch Pyare and they have the Sudai done. But in Amritdhari families, children are given Amrit. But every time the child was given Amrit, a few days later it would die. And Hira Harbachan Singh Ji's wife said to him, "Why is this happening?" And he said, "These children that are born to us, these are highly, highly spiritual souls that have done so much bhakti for centuries, that their whole existence has been devoted to bhakti, but they're here only to get Naam from Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They're here to get Amrit and Naam. And once they get Amrit and Naam, their bhakti is stamped by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and they're accepted to Sachkhand. Their journey ends." So his wife decided with the next child, it was a baby girl, that she's not going to take her for an Amrit Sanchar. So she didn't, and the child rose, grew up. And when it was time for marriage, at that time there were only marriages for Amritdharis. And she wanted to take Amrit anyways, because her whole family was Amritdhari, that child. And Hira Harbachan Singh Ji's daughter went for an Amrit Sanchar, received Amrit, and 2 days later she too passed away. And at that point they did a das to Guru Sahib that, "Send us children that'll stay here. Don't send us these souls anymore." And then they had a child, Dr. Surinder Singh Ji, who didn't die after receiving Amrit, but his name is known all across India as one of the most spiritual Gursikhs ever. Another story that illustrates the importance of Naam is the story of Santokh Jogi. If anyone's been to Amritsar, you'll see that there's a story called Santokh Sar. When Guru Arjan Dev Ji was digging that sarovar, they were digging and they called Guru Arjan Dev Ji because there was a big clay vessel, and they discovered it where the sarovar was when they were digging, and they said, "What's this?" And Guru Sahib said, "Break it." They broke it. What was sitting inside was a very old and gnarled man sitting in a state of samadhi, eyes closed. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji, of course, he knew everything. Guru Sahib said, "Wake him." And they shook him on the shoulder and he said, "What time is this?" And they said, "This is the time." They said, "How long have you been here?" He said, "I've been here for centuries in meditation." And he goes, the only thing I want to know is, has Guru Nanak appeared on this planet? Has Guru Nanak come here? And they said, "Guru Nanak's successor, Guru Nanak's Jot, Guru Arjan Dev is here." He said, "I want to become a Sikh. That's the only thing I've waited for." This is a story that's true. He said, "I want to become a Sikh." And Guru Arjan Dev Ji whispered, first gave him Chan Pahal and whispered Naam in his ear. And upon receiving Naam, that's all, he passed away. And the Sikhs said, "What was this?" They said, "He was a very big Bhakt, but without Naam, his bhakti couldn't get him to Sachkhand. His bhakti wasn't of any use until he got the stamp from Guru Nanak Dev Ji to get him into Sachkhand." And after that, the sarovar there is now still called Santokh Sar, after that Jogi. Amrit itself, what does Amrit mean? Amrit. Mrit means death, means without. When you shak Amrit, Guru Sahib is promising you true life. With Naam, you understand what true life is. Guru Sahib, that's why he says, "Jeevano mein jeevan paya." With Amrit, you understand what true life is about. And that's when everything makes sense again. You get a new birth. You get a new chance. When you shak Amrit, the Panch Pyare will tell you after, you've been born again, your new parents are Guru Gobind Singh and Mata Sahib Kaur, and your only job now is to jap Naam. That's your main mission in life. It's a new birth. And it's a new feeling, and what Guru Sahib is offering you is Jeevan Mukti. You don't have to die to enjoy spirituality. You don't have to die to get the rewards of your spirituality. Guru Sahib is offering you Sachkhand while you're alive, Jeevan Mukt. And if you can attain Jivan Mukt, there's nothing that can stop you. People say, I want to change the world. People say that I want to make a difference. When you're Jivan Mukt, that's the state that you have to be in to actually do that. That's when you won't compromise your principle. You'll be cut apart, but you won't change what you are. You won't change what your mission is. That's when you're fearless. That's what Guru Sahib is offering. But the Amritdharis amongst you might be saying, when I shucked Amrit, I didn't really feel anything, and I'm still not really sure. I'm not feeling anything different. There's a qualifier that when we shuck Amrit, we have to be completely dedicated to Guru Sahib. Our head has to be Guru Sahib's. When you're a Sikh, you're not just following a religion. You're crazy. You're a Mastana. Whatever Guru Sahib says, you say right away, yes. If Guru Sahib says jump, you say how high. That's why you see some crazy Singhs that do things that don't make any sense to us. They might keep sarb low, or they might wear barna, or they might get up at crazy hours to jap naam for hours and hours. But that's because they're in love. They had one taste, and they can't stop. And this is what Guru Sahib is offering us. So, what is this about now? This is our chance now. Without this, it's not going to come again. We had this chance now, and there's no guarantee that we'll get it again. If in life we gain nothing, upon our death, we'll get what we worked for in this life. This is a shabd that tells us what we get when we die, with different thoughts in our mind. Gujri. Antakal jo Lakshmi se mara, aisi chinta main je mara, sarp jawan wal wal autara. If in your last moments you thought about money, and Guru Sahib says, you'll be born again as a snake, as a very possessive snake. A snake is known to revolve around treasures, very possessive. Then, Ari Bhai, Gobind Naam mat bisare rahao. Don't forget Gobind Vaiguru's Naam. Antakal jo istri se mara, aisi chinta main je mara, beswa jawan wal wal autara. That if you think about kaam, lust in your last moments, you'll be born again as a prostitute, because that's what you wanted in life. You wanted, to have lots of kaam. That's it. So now you have the opportunity. It's not vengeance by God. It's not vindictive. It's what you wanted, what you work towards. Antakal jo ladke se mera, aisi chinta mein je mera. If you think about your children, sukur jawan wal wal autara, that you end up being a dog because a dog has many children, takes care of those children, has very huge litters. You want it to be a parent, that's it. You just cared about your children and have lots of children. That's what you think will make you happy. Antakal jo mandar se mara, aisi chinta mein je mara. If you think about your house in your last moments, then what do you get? Preth jawan wal wal autara. End up being a ghost. Antakal narayan se mara, aisi chinta mein je mara. If you think about in your last moments, Vaiguru, because this is the test. This is the exam I talked about that you've been preparing for your entire life, your last moment. What you are in your last moment is what's going to determine your fate. If you're in your last moments, Guru Sahib says, Narayan Simra, if you thought about Vaiguru, Badat Telochan, Tenar Mukta, Pitambar Vanke Hriday Vasa, that in that person Vaiguru resides, and that person is Mukt, that person is free. That doesn't mean that you can say, oh, I can do whatever I want in my life, and in my last moments I'll think about Vaiguru. It doesn't work that way. In your last moments, if in your life you've never thought about Vaiguru, don't think that you're going to get that chance. But if in all your life you've thought about Guru Sahib, you've given your head to Guru Sahib, all your faith is in Guru Sahib, then Guru Sahib himself will give you the opportunity to remember Vaiguru. But if you miss this chance, then this is what happens this next shabd. I told this story, the story behind this shabd, to my discussion class. Bhakt Kabir ji was going through a village, and there was a child playing, and he called the child close and he said, Naam japala bhakti karla. The child said, why? I'm young, I want to play, there's so much time for that. And Kabir ji said, fine. And he moved through. He came through again many years later, and that child had now grown up and was married. And he said, Hon bhakti karla, hon naam japala. He said, no, not now, I have children to raise, I just got married, and I have a house to build, not now. Kabir ji said, fine, went. And the third time he came, when this child was now old, quite old. He said, Hon naam japala. He said, nay, my body doesn't agree with it anymore, I can't sit for long periods. Next life we'll see. Next life. This life I dedicated to the world, next life we'll meditate on Vaiguru. Kabir ji said, your decision. Fourth time, This man had now died. Kabir Ji came to the village, and there was an ox there, and Kabir Ji sat down and put his hand on the ox and whispered in its ear, "Hun naam japala." And a tear came down the ox's eye. And this shabd is what was written at that point. Ik onkar satgur prasad rag gujri bhagtan ki bani Sri Kabir Ji ke chaup de kar tuja. Char pav doy singh gong mukh tau kaise gun gayi hai. You have 4 legs, 2 horns, and your mouth can't speak anything. Now how are you going to sing Vaiguru's praises? Uthit baithit thenga par hai tau kat moond lakai hai. Now on an ox, I don't know if you've seen in India, these things, when they move, they're hit with a stick. When they sit down, they're hit with a stick. Wherever they go, they're beaten. And Kabir Ji said, where are you going to hide your face now? Don't you feel any shame? Wherever you're going, you're being beaten, you miss the opportunity. Har bin bail birane hiye, faate nakan tute kandan. Kodo ko pas khai hai. How that your ears are ripped apart because they put rings in their ears and their nose as well, and that you have to eat coarse grain. Sare din dolat ban mahiya ajuna pet gayi hai. Your entire day you spend outside, and even through all this work, you still can't fill your stomach. Jan bhagtan ko kahe na mano ki wo apno pai hai. That you didn't listen to the bhagts, you didn't listen to Guru Sahib then, you didn't listen to Sikhi, you didn't care, and now you're getting what you worked for. Dukh sukh kart mahaparam dubbe anak jon par mai hai. That now you're going to go through endless births and deaths and pain and suffering because you didn't seize the opportunity you had. Ratan janam khoyo pra bisleo e avsar kat pai hai. That you lost your opportunity, that you lost that diamond, and now when are you going to get the chance again? Paramat ferat tele ke kap jo gat bin ren bihai hai. There's an oil grinding sort of apparatus which has the ox going in a circle all day, and it ends up nowhere because it's a circle. That it's saying that you go in a circle and you're still nowhere, that you're going to have to keep going in the circle over and over again, and you're going to get nothing out of it. Kahat kabir Ram naam bin moond tune puchtai hai. That without naam, you're going to regret it. So that, I think, is all that we can say about life. We're here for Naam, we're here to become Sikhs of Guru Sahib. And without that, there's no person, there's no object that can fill the emptiness or give us a purpose. Without Amrit, we're going to be lost just like everyone else. So, again, I'm not a speaker, and while speaking I'm sure I made a lot of mistakes. Bhai Balpreet Singh Khalsa, Bhai Balpreet Singh.